If you impregnate your wife while standing, she will give birth to a cripple. This is a story of betrayal, of deceit, and of true love. Let us dive into the story. The hunchback married my daughter. In a small village in Africa, there lived a family with two daughters. The father, Okonta, favored the eldest, named Adanna, because of her beauty and strength. The mother, Ojugo, adored the youngest, Egoyibo, who was gentle and kind-hearted. The family was tightly knit, but the parents' favoritism created a rift between the sisters. There was an old man that lived in the forest. His name was Obungongo. He was an outcast because he had a hunchback. During those times, it is a taboo, an abomination, for one to have a hunchback. It is believed that the fellow was cursed by the gods. The father of the girls, Okonta, was a hunter. And on this fateful day, Okonta went to the forest to hunt as usual. And on his way, he saw Obungongo. He had so much disgust for the old Obungongo and started abusing him. Tufiakwa, abomination, one whom the gods have cursed. Obungongo looked at him and said, "Why are you insulting me this morning? Have I wronged you in any way, Okonta?" Okonta continued, "You don't have to wrong me for me to know that you are cursed and a bad luck to me this morning. I don't even know why I passed this route." Okonta continued, "I wonder who will marry you in this life. You are going to die in this forest, old and lonely." Obungongo, looking angrily, answered, "You have cursed me this morning and also wished me bad luck. It is fine. But remember, Okonta, the forest that forbids monkeys should not grow bananas. I will show you that I, Obungongo, move with the spirits. You cannot do anything, Obungongo. You are too small, a hunchback, and a frail old man. There is nothing you can do to me, Okonta." Okonta answered. Obungongo turned and started on his way. Okonta was still raining abuses on him, but he had planned something evil for Okonta. After many market days, a suitor came to Okonta's compound to seek for Egoyibo's hand in marriage. He was not known, but he came with lots of gifts that Okonta's family were all happy and forgot to ask who he was. Egoyibo was delighted that the suitor picked her, but Adanna felt neglected. Okonta tried to persuade the suitor to marry Adanna, who is the firstborn child, and also because Adanna was his favorite daughter. But the suitor insisted that he only wants to marry Egoyibo. Adanna was sad. She wanted to be married too, and she couldn't stand the thought of her sister leaving her. When the handsome suitor had left to come back for the wedding, Okonta vowed in himself that he must make the suitor marry Adanna. His wife Ojugo, who knows him very well, kept telling him not to do anything that will jeopardize the wedding. But Okonta had thought of a plan. On the day of the wedding, Okonta, wanting to hide Egoyibo, devised a cruel plan. He sent Egoyibo on an errand in the forest, and along the way, he planted some of his men to kidnap her and hide her until after the wedding. When the handsome suitor arrived, only to find that Egoyibo had vanished, the father claimed that Egoyibo had run away, but he actually had her kidnapped. Please, if you have watched to this moment, please kindly like, comment, share, and please also subscribe to my channel. Please help me to boost this YouTube page so that I'll bring you more interesting stories. Thank you, and don't forget, please subscribe. Now let us go back to the story. The suitor, when he heard that Egoyibo had run away, he didn't say much. He just wanted to get married and live with his bride, whichever bride that may be. Then Okonta, seeing that he had achieved all he set out to do, brought out Adanna and offered her to the suitor. Adanna was disturbed that her sister was missing, but she had to obey her father. Once the wedding was over, and Adanna was taken by the suitor, along the way something strange happened. The suitor, who had seemed strong and handsome, suddenly began to transform. And as everyone looked with shock and disbelief, he turned back into his true self, an old man with a hunchback. The suitor transformed back to Obungongo. Adanna was horrified and began to cry, realizing that she had been tricked. Okonta was shocked and couldn't believe his eyes. He was disappointed in himself. He began to cry and regret forcing his daughter to get married. And Obungongo started to laugh and took his wife Adanna home. Meanwhile, Egoyibo had been rescued by the prince of the village, a kind man who had heard of her kidnap. He fought off Egoyibo's father's men and brought her to safety. The prince was smitten with Egoyibo's beauty and gentleness and asked for her hand in marriage. Egoyibo, filled with gratitude and joy, accepted. The village rejoiced as they celebrated their union. But Adanna, trapped in a marriage she did not want, could only watch from the sidelines as her sister Egoyibo found happiness. In time, the truth spread through the village about Okonta's deceit. He was shunned and disgraced for his actions. Egoyibo and the prince ruled justly. But Adanna, realizing her father's mistake, learned to forge her own path and find peace. And so, my people, the tale of two sisters, love and betrayal, became a lesson for the village. A reminder that betrayal, deceit have no place in families. Thank you for listening and watching. Bye for now.